Welcome back to an absolutely packed service park here at Gap. I don't think I've seen so many fans. There's a little walkway all the way to Sébastien Ogier's service bay, which we'll show you in a bit. Chenny, it is...
That was brilliant. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, sir.
Yeah. Well over the age to be doing things like that. There we go, there we go. This is the fans, and this is Kalle Rovanper&auml. They're just making a whole human line there.
Yeah, fantastic to see so many fans in the service park. It was absolutely lit up in here last night, wasn't it, Kiri? So many people knocking around, and again, so many people come out for midday service. It means so much to the local people, and and it's not just local here in France. It's also people from all around Europe who come. You know, it's not just the drivers who want to come and do Rallye Monte-Carlo. It's the fans who want to come and be a part of it as well. So great to see.
And I think even if you aren't a rally fan, you've more than likely heard of Rallye Monte-Carlo before. That's the thing. I think that it's just something that everybody knows about. It really is a fantastic atmosphere down here. 93rd edition as well. You've heard that quite a lot. It means we've been doing this for quite a while. Well, we will be here for the next half an hour. We will be getting sort of into the deep service bays as well. We'll get round there when we can get through the crowds, won't we?
Yep, absolutely.
But let's listen in to the interview. Emir Penland's up in the media zone, and he won stage 11. It is Ott T&auml.
Ott, great run this morning, especially stage 11. Everything seemed to be hooking up for you there. 6.9 faster than the next car, Fourmaux. That's more like it.
Yeah, let's say the first one, first of all, beginning quite dry, so yeah, somehow was okay, but immediately when it turns 30, I have a big struggle in the car. Second one was more tarmac. It's like I was consistent, slippy, not so big surprises with the mud, and the last one, yeah, just some matchy patches and some dirty places, but yeah, still more consistent.
Yeah, on the faster, more open stuff, the WRC seems to have the advantage. Why do you think that is?
This I don't know if they have advantage. It's just that ourselves, yeah, just myself, I can't find any balance when it's dirty and I'm far too much understeer, and yeah, I have no feeling I can make the corner. So like this, it's difficult to push.
But game on this afternoon, only a second behind Kalle. Going for it, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. We try to improve for this afternoon, and yeah, hopefully we can find a good rhythm.
And in Estonia, how's your morning?
Üleüldiselt esimene katse, esimene pool oli puhtam, seal oli enam-vähem, aga teine.
Well, there we go, Ott T&auml there, just talking about this afternoon. He's going to put the pressure on, whether he can do any damage in terms of the positions. He's certainly going to keep the pressure on where he can.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about playing around with the balance of the car and trying to find something this afternoon, wasn't he, Kiri? I think he needs to do that. Ultimately, he hasn't been happy with the balance of the car. He hasn't been happy with the overall setup. It's still just round one of the championship. You're better off banking some points than throwing the car off the road, and I think that's the situation that Ott T&auml and Kalle Rovanper&auml are equally in. So yeah, back down here in service, and the team will be doing what they can to try and give Ott a car that he's more confident and comfortable in to push, and then it'll just be the usual stuff. You know, it wasn't like it was yesterday when they were putting a whole new rear end on the car and putting new dampers on the back of Thierry's car. A relatively routine service for them. Yeah,
which is quite nice after exactly what you said yesterday, because if you didn't know, which I'm sure you do by now, Thierry had his off, which was something to work on, and then Ott had not such a dramatic off, but actually quite a lot of repairs. Just cosmetic, but it's still time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The team didn't really have any time to go into the setup of the car so much, and you'd be amazed how quickly you can make setup changes to these cars. It doesn't take an awful lot of time at all, but when you bring a car in that requires a whole new one-piece rear on the back and wing and quite a lot of cosmetic work, it does sap that time away. You're quite right. As I said, relatively straightforward service for Hyundai, though. Yeah,
which will be quite greatly received. All right, well, Adrien Fourmaux storming again out there. He took that place from Elfyn Evans. So how's he feeling? What's he got in store for this afternoon? Let's listen in.
Adrien, your great debut with Hyundai continues. The fight with Elfyn has been fantastic. Sum up your morning for us.
It's been Sorry, it's been a good morning for us. We had a little bit different tire choice than Toyota this morning, but at the end it was probably a bit safer for us, and the performance is still there. We took the second position, but also we only lose 3 seconds on Seb Ogier, so it's we are still not so far. But even if the gap still starts to be a bit bigger, but you never know, in Monte-Carlo, so we continue.
No, you never know. You're right. Have you got one eye then on the rally win?
When you are a competitor, you always look at the victory for sure. But for now, I just want to continue. And for us, for the championship, it's more important to get some points than chasing Seb that is not there for the championship.
Lunchtime service. Now, you happy with the balance of the car? Any changes for this afternoon?
No, all okay.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's quite interesting. He's all okay with his setup, according to what he's just said to Emir, but of course we've heard a completely different story from teammate Ott T&auml there. I do just want to talk about the fact that Emir was pushing for a little bit of confirmation as to whether he would push on Sébastien Ogier. And as a competitor, like you said, he wants the win, whether he's going to get it or not, whether he's going to damage his overall championship, position there for this win here, but he's certainly going to not let him do it easily.
No, I think if Adrien can stick it on the podium, that'll be a hell of a result for him, won't it? Clearly the car's working well for him. Clearly he's comfortable. And I said it in commentary, when you come into a new team, it's not just a new car, it's new mechanics, it's new engineers, it's a new workflow, it's a new way of doing things. Adrien settled into that very, very well, and clearly the team have made him feel very comfortable too, and that's very important. Just coming back to what Ott T&auml was saying about the balance of the car, we've seen the mechanics here have made quite a big change. Have actually changed the springs as well. I suspect they've possibly gone a little bit softer to just try and get the front of the car to bite a little bit more. So quite a big change for Ott T&auml again, just chasing setup. We saw Thierry Neuville making lots of changes as well, didn't we, this morning? Because he hasn't got a result to chase for on the Saturday. Thierry Neuville learning, and that's what it's about. It's about collecting data, understanding how to make the tyre work and the car work in these conditions.
Let's just talk about driving style then between Adrien Fourmaux, who's come in and he's more comfortable in the car than, say, Ott T&auml. Ott T&auml been with that car plenty more time than Adrien Fourmaux. So is it driving style then that Adrien Fourmaux's finding it easier in the car, finding it easier to find that setup? Because we know that Ott T&auml likes that car quite stiff.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a difficult question to answer, because I think Adrian's just come in and the car's working for him. Certainly yesterday, he was comfortable taking more risks. That's how I would answer that question. He's got more confidence in what he's got underneath him to take more risks, particularly on the really slippery stuff. We saw Adrien making up big time, same as Sébastien Ogier. I just think the car's just not quite dialed into Ott T&auml's driving style, and Ott's a wily old character. He's been around a long time. He understands that this is a long game. This isn't about winning this rally. It's not even about getting on the podium. It's about banking points and scoring championship points. Rally Monte-Carlo, things can go wrong very, very quickly, as we've seen so many times, Kiri. I think Ott T&auml's just driving smart at the moment. Let's see how he goes. As I said, there is a new set of front springs on the front of that car, and let's see if they're going in the right direction for him. Yeah,
plenty of lessons, I'm sure, for him learned last year as well. It's the long game that Ott T&auml perhaps playing. OK, well, what's Thierry Neuville up to? Let's listen into that interview with Emir Penlan.
Thierry, it wasn't your day yesterday, and through no fault of your own, it wasn't your day today either. You just can't catch a break this year on the Monte.
No, obviously not our weekend so far, and not the start we would have hoped for. However, we are still in the points, and the rally isn't over, so try to find the positives at the moment and keep working to improve.
Absolutely, no point risking anything today. You've been able to do some setup changes, obviously thinking ahead for the maximum 5 points tomorrow. Have you made any gains?
Yeah, I'm not really sure we improved a lot. I felt a bit more comfortable in the last stage of the loop. Nevertheless, it's all about the compromise, and so far the compromise isn't great. So struggling a bit, but we're going to try this afternoon, and if it works, try to give it a bit more speed.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
Plenty to be gained for Thierry Neuville now, of course, because of yesterday. He's out of getting us the points that he wants to get, but you never know. You're never going to let it go easy, because it is Rally Monte-Carlo. Let's just quickly recap Sunday, though. It might not be the same bagging points every Saturday night, but there's more points up for grabs on Sunday. Yeah, effectively, the Super Saturday points have gone. They've been scrapped. So now it's about the rally result points. Yeah. Those have effectively gone for Thierry Neuville, but on Sunday, the fastest driver through all 3 stages will pick up 5
5 extra championship points, and if you're second fastest, 4, third, 3, and so on.
Yep.
And it's exactly the same as the power stage. It has been all year. So there's 10 points up for grabs. And Thierry Neuville, again, he's a bright guy. He's worked out. I haven't got a result. I haven't got a rally result coming, you know, but based on what's happened. So he's now making changes. He's learning how to make the tyre work. He's collecting data, and he's basically using this as a glorified testing session to go flat out tomorrow. And I think we're going to see a very, very different Thierry Neuville come Sunday. He'll want all 10 points, Kiri.
Yeah, for sure. Again, to build up for that championship title. He's done it once. He wants it again. Now, you've been talking to some of the drivers, some of the mechanics. Have you heard anything about the tyres? Has anyone given you any extra insight? Obviously, I've been going down to Hankook, but they've been keeping very, very close to their chest on terms of their cards.
Yeah, look, the general driver feedback is they're always comparing to what they've had before, and every single driver, the one thing they want more of always is more grip and more power. But it's a compromise, right? So from a tyre perspective, you always want more grip, but in doing so, you lose reliability. I think what Hankook have done is they've made a very, very durable tyre. So far, we haven't seen many failures at all, have we?
Just a couple, yeah.
And from that perspective, it's been very good. Clearly, the tyre is a slightly harder compound. It takes a little bit longer to get into the operating window. It takes a bit more to get the tyre up to temperature. But once it's there, it seems to be working well. It's very difficult to answer that question, and for the drivers and engineers to answer that question, because there's so little data so far. When you look at the previous tyre supplier, we had years and years of data to look at. Well, now we're only just starting to build up that database. So, look, in this sport, it all comes down to data and looking at it. So far, for me as a spectator, from what I've seen, I'm enjoying it. I think what Hankook have done is good. We've seen rallies aren't getting ruined because of punctures. You know, everybody's still in the game, and certainly the cars are moving around a little bit. And as time goes on, the tyre will continue to improve, and the drivers will continue to understand how to make it work for them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think we'll continue this conversation as the season goes
absolutely,
on.
Yes, yeah.
OK, well, Sebastien Ogier's, it's easy for me to say, Sebastien Ogier's service has started. So what we'll do is we'll dip into his interview, and myself and Chenny will move over there to watch more closely.
Sebastien, you're grabbing this rally by the scruff of the neck. An incredible performance, especially on the first stage, I think. Second fastest there. Considering the road position, that was some performance.
Yeah, it was a good start, and I was happy with my start this morning. You know, I knew the longest stage of the rally, we had to be on it, because if you start to maybe back off a little bit on a long stage like this, you can lose easily too much time. So, yeah, I had a good start. Then on the second one, a bit less. I was a little bit too cautious on a downhill, very dirty section that I didn't expect it that dirty, to be honest. So I was... straight away losing a couple of seconds again, but the last one was good, so the gap still not big, but still it went in a good direction this morning.
Yeah, absolutely, extending your lead to 17.2 seconds to Fourmaux, but there's no such thing as a comfortable lead in Monte-Carlo.
No, it's not comfortable for sure. I think probably if you start coming around 30, then you can start thinking, okay, you have a bit of a gap, but below that, with these conditions, still many things can happen.
But I guess it's about managing the risks, so more of the same this afternoon?
Yeah, definitely. I think the weather might change now. It's a lot of clouds, so maybe some little rain. We don't know yet, actually. So let's try to make the right tire call for the afternoon and carry on like this.
Good luck this afternoon, Seb.
Yeah, I'm not sure he needs luck out here, but he needs it to go his way at very least. Now, we are, of course, in Toyota. What have you got? Oh, I see.
He's run away. He's run
Hans
away.
Bauer, which is the chief in charge here at Toyota. He's got a very special gift for Chenny. He's walking away with it, hiding underneath his jacket.
I'll be back for that shortly.
Yeah, you better be sharing that. OK, well, the service continues here for Toyota. Nothing again major. What do you think? They've not really talked other than Kalle about being comfortable in the car. Sebastien Ogier seems to be handling what he's got underneath him quite well.
Sebastien Ogier doing a superb job. I mean, particularly the first stage this morning, Kiri, when Gregoire Munster, which we'll talk about in a moment,
yes.
But he won the stage. The conditions continue to get worse and worse and worse. Seb only finished 0.8 of a second down. Clearly, he's comfortable in the car. I said it in commentary as well, you know, the Toyota comes into its own. The Toyota comes into its own on the really fast stuff, the fast-flowing stuff, and I think it's working well. Sebastien Ogier doing a great job. Elfyn Evans as well. I've got to say, look, Elfyn's absolutely in this fight. Yes, he probably hasn't had the perfect morning, but I personally don't think Elfyn's pulled the trigger yet I still think there's more to come from Elfyn Evans, and he'll keep Adrien Fourmaux in his sights. And there's a long way to go, as we've heard all the drivers saying. This is Rallye Monte-Carlo, and it can all change in a stage.
Do not forget that. And also, you know, we've seen Kalle Rovanper&auml here 4 times now in the top flight, and actually only sat on the podium once. This, as he mentioned, he doesn't love this rally, so it's not necessarily huge expectations that he's got out here for a podium position. I think we might see him come into play, like you were talking about earlier on, in Sweden and so on.
Yeah, he's never been a big fan of the point and squirt, really busy, particularly tarmac
phrase
rallies.
That he's been using today,
it's true. I mean, it's just a very busy rally, and Kalle's not a fan of that. He likes the really fast flowing open stuff. That's where he is the best in the world. It's as simple as that. And if you ask him how he feels about these kind of busy rallies, he'll say they're not for me. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that Toyota. I just think that Kalle isn't comfortable pushing as hard as everybody else in these conditions. Stick him on some snow and ice in Sweden and he'll come alive. Stick him on a rally in Finland or Estonia and he'll come alive. So yeah, it's just, Kalle's just getting through the weekend.
But that's okay. We have got a long season ahead for all of these world champions to get it out of the bag. All right. Well, Elfyn Evans, he's the one that wants the world championship title. Can he make an imprint here? Well, how's he feeling? He's with another Welshman, Emyr Penlan.
Elfyn, steady start this morning, but then dropping a position to Fourmaux, so not ideal. Sum up your morning for us.
Yeah, it's been a clean morning out there, but yeah, maybe not quite enough on the edge. A lot of cutting out there, perhaps a bit conservative with how many wheels I was prepared to put in, but yeah, it's been tricky out there and maybe lacking a bit of confidence in those tricky places, but still here.
Yeah, you said at the end of one of the stages that everything feels a bit nervous. So what does that actually mean? And is there anything you can do in the midday service to improve that?
Yeah, just feeling in the mud and the cuts of the car is maybe a little edgy, but you know, it's normal to a point. But of course, the more progressive the feeling, then the more confidence you have. But yeah, we can look to make minor changes for that.
The gap to Adrien is only 2.1, so all to play for this afternoon. So I guess getting back up onto that second step of the podium is the key.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep doing the best we can. It's Rallye Monte-Carlo, still a long way to go, and the aim will just be to keep doing the best we can.
Good luck this afternoon.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Keep doing the best you can. He's talked a little bit about confidence there as well. Actually, that seems a more relaxed Elfyn. I think towards the end of last season we were starting to see a more tense Elfyn, obviously for reasons why. But at the moment he does seem relaxed and enjoying this.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think he's pulled the trigger yet. And you know, he said there were places where he just didn't want to take big risks. That says to us straight away, there's more in the tank if he needs it. You know, there's more there if he needs it. So for me, Elfyn is just being conservative. He's playing the long game, which you have to do. You've got to be strategic with Rallye Monte-Carlo, haven't you, Kiri? The other thing he said, the car's a little bit edgy, but that's the same for everybody. We're watching everybody out on the stages. As soon as it hits an undulation or a big cut, the car's bouncing around, moving around a little bit. So those are minor changes. For me, I just think Elfyn is just being smart at the moment.
Yep, well, we will find out. It is the biggest day today, the longest day today. We go back into the longest stage. What did you make of it this morning? Because these are new parts of stages and a new stage. There's some old classic parts of the last stage, but what have you made of these stages? Pretty dirty, considering.
Certainly. I mean, the second stage of the loop really caught us out. We didn't expect it to get as dirty as it did. The last kilometre we knew was going to get really polluted, but actually it came way before that, didn't it? So I think that caught a lot of the drivers out. The first stage, the super long stage, it was always going to go in favour of the drivers at the start of the stage, wasn't it? It was always going to get slower, that one, and that's exactly what happened. But you can't take anything away from the eventual winner of that stage, which was Gregoire Munster, and
whichever way you get it, it's still yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got more and more interviews coming in. We're going to listen to the interviews that Emyr Penlan's done with Kalle Rovanper and Taka. Let's head into those.
Kalle, stage win yesterday, but today just isn't hooking up for you somehow. What's going on there? Describe your morning for us.
Yeah, the first one of the morning was pretty okay. Straight away, when it's a bit more fast and flowy stage like the first one of the loop, it's pretty okay. Then the middle one and the last one, in all the twisty sections and narrow parts, just no speed for us.
So what can you change in service maybe to make it a little bit better? Tanak only a second behind you. It's game on this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a good fight with Ott, so let's see what we can do for the afternoon.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Taka, welcome back. Glad to see you're feeling a bit better today. Congratulations, stage win. That's more like it.
Yeah, it's been quite good feeling since morning. We changed some setup on the car since last night, and it works much better for me, and it feels more comfortable. So yeah, it's everything working well. Even first two stages, splits were quite okay, and some specific places I lost a bit of time. So, but yeah. It quite tricky stage anyway, all of them, and everything so far going well. It's quite far away from the front and also very far in the back, so nothing to do special, just trying to get a good feeling for the tomorrow and finding something extra confidence for extra pushing on Sunday.
Well done.
Yeah, poor Taka does sound a little bit like that cold or fever that he's had. Sort of got to his throat now, but a fantastic stage. I guess, again, it was just feeling comfortable in the car, finding that setup.
Yeah, really nice to see Taka, put on such a good show in the final stage of the loop there. It all came together for him, no question about it. I think he got quite lucky in some places, particularly the entry onto the bridge. He carried so much speed into it, and the car was all sideways coming off the previous right-hander, but it just pointed him in the direction he wanted to go. Everything worked for him, and I think more than anything, Kiri, it was just great to see that Taka had put in a stage win. That's important to say that, absolutely, yeah. So, a good job from Takamoto. Hopefully he can carry that into this afternoon.
Now, we have sort of already covered Kalle Rovanper&auml earlier on, just saying that, maybe this rally isn't particularly, his rally's not out of the mix, he's not caused any drama, might just be getting through it. We will find out, I guess, this afternoon what pace he comes out with as to what he's got in store for us. But right now, we are down at M Sport, and we're just looking at a man that got his first stage win today.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Massive congratulations to Gregoire Munster for taking that very first ever WRC stage victory, and doing it in really difficult conditions as well, Kiri. First into the stage, I think, was an advantage for him. There's no question about that. Yeah. Don't hide about that. But that's rallying for you. And the whole team worked incredibly hard last night to get that car back out. The car actually, on the way into service last night, the car stopped.
Yeah, that's where I was going to ask you. So it had this electrical issue. What more do you know about this?
It had an electrical issue that caused that. I'm not allowed, but they had an electrical issue that caused the engine to critically stop, and it was a big fix to get it right. So they were able to get it right. They worked very hard through the night, and for Gregoire Munster to go out and get it sorted and take a stage win straight away.
Yeah, bit of a boost.
Yeah, absolutely a boost. And like I said in commentary, who needs sleep when you've got a stage victory coming up? It will be more difficult for him to do that this afternoon because the roads are dirty, but a brilliant first stage win for Gregoire Munster. I'm delighted for him and for the whole team. It's nice.
Wherever the wins come and however they come, you've got to take them, haven't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's listen in, see how he's feeling.
Gregoire, rallying is like no other sport. From the lows of last night to the restart this morning, and what a restart. Congratulations on your first stage win.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a big thank you to the team for the job they've done this night. And yeah, for sure, it's a bit of a pity because there was a good momentum and a good opportunity on this rally, but that's how it is. That's part of motorsport, and we make the best out of it today. In the afternoon, we didn't have the right tire choice. In the next stage, we didn't have the right tire choice, so I didn't want to risk anything after that high.
Yeah, a little bit too optimistic. Different tire strategy to everybody else, but missing those super softs.
Yeah, exactly. But we were at a point where we wanted to try something in the morning. That's what we did, what we've done, and for the stage after, it wasn't the right choice, but at least we got what we wanted.
And what was it like having a nice clean road? I guess this afternoon it's going to be a little bit more difficult with the pollution on the road.
Yeah, exactly. For sure, that was a big advantage. The first one was not as polluted as the two other ones because the two next one were with much more mud. And I think if we had the super soft, we could have done a pretty good times as well because of the road position. But yeah, that's for next loop.
Congratulations, Gregoire.
Thank you.
Hope there's more to come.
Yeah, I hope as well. Thank you.
Emir saying there's more to come. Yes, maybe there is more to come. Just down here still at M Sport. Rich is lurking closely. I think he's watching what you say, Jenny.
Come here.
We were Emir, come here then. Come on.
Come here. Gregoire, he's unbelievable. What was the feeling like this morning, you know, when he went out and took that stage win? Because I know we were talking about how hard the team. Well, you actually look quite tired, mate. You didn't get much sleep last night. Neither did the guys in the team. You know, to get that car out and to take a stage win, it's a special thing for him.
Yeah, I was here as team motivator, so that's why everyone looks tired. I think we got to bed at 3 o'clock, and then we're back at 6. So the guys have done a fantastic job to get it fixed. And okay, we got a penalty last night, which is a shame, but be rewarded for the stage win for the team and for Greg and Louis is mega, really. And,
it means a lot to them as well, doesn't it? After what was at times a difficult year in 2024 and 25 to take the first stage victory, and it's been such a, I know it was disappointing last night, but it has been such a positive start to the year.
We keep saying it takes years to get up to the top level, and you know, this was his kind of next goal, was to get that duck off his back of a stage win. So he's done that. The pressure kind of releases a little bit, and then the goal again is to try and get another one. But it's not as easy as that. So basically, he's done really well. We can all be very proud of him, what he achieved.
Yeah, it is all about the milestones now. I know Rich can't hear me at the moment, so we'll wait until both cars head out. It is an awful lot louder, isn't it, without the Yeah, Rich said that earlier as well. It is a lot louder with the hybrid. Rich, I'm just going to ask, of course, you won the first stage of the morning. You're heading out now into a much dirtier set of stages. What have you told him out there? What are your expectations?
I think there'll be another different challenge this afternoon. Like you say, stages are a lot more polluted. Right across the board, and that rain on the last one won't have helped. It'll probably a very slimy surface. But he's been very good. Greg's been very good in the last few days with his gravel crew information. He's been really accurate, and that's why he's had such good times. For Josh, you know, the time is coming down and down, but every time he goes back out, it's a completely different situation and scenario. So it's almost been impossible for him to try and get into a rhythm, because you think, right, I've learned from that one, you go to the next stage and it's completely different. So every time you're just learning each stage, and it's by far the most difficult debut event to do, and especially this year with tricky conditions, it's just it's such a challenge you can't really put into words. So the fact he's still here, gaining knowledge, keeping positive. You know, I know he's disappointed in some ways, but he needs to be positive in others. So this afternoon's going to be another challenge for everyone, but I suspect there will still be some stuff going on at the front, because the gaps are incredibly close. The distance left is decreasing, and there's some boys wanting a podium out there. So, you know, Josh is still doing great in overall positions. So just keep doing what we're doing. That was the target, and we'll see what happens.
All right, enjoy the next 3 stages of the day. Thank you so much, Rich. All right, well, it is almost time again. We're back into the action soon. As Rich was saying, lots of pollution out on those stages. I wanted to ask him, but I didn't think he could hear me. I spoke to Hancock earlier, and they were talking about the fact that Greg's made probably the boldest tyre choices out of everybody out there. And they were referring to that, but you sort of said that in commentary. They just felt comfortable with the choices that they were making.
Certainly the soft tyre was the one to be on for the first stage. The final stage of the loop, Gregoire Munster and Josh McAleen were on the wrong rubber. The super soft was the tyre to be on, and we saw that reflected in the times. Gregoire even said it when he got to the end of the stage. He said, look, we were a bit too optimistic on the tyre choice. I still think if he'd have taken 2 super softs in the back of the car and 4 softs, he wouldn't have won the stage, because he'd have been carrying the extra weight. Sebastian Ogier was only 8/10 slower. Yeah. So I think they made the right decision for the team for Gregoire's stage win. This afternoon, though, I think we'll see maybe the super soft being employed, because it's going to be so dirty.
And I kind of thought, because of the dirtiness, he might take the 2 spares as well, but we will find out for you. All right, this is the times of the stages as they come on. Stage 13, 14 and 15 at 2:56 and 4 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. It's a repeat of the stages that we've already seen this morning, but dirtier stages. In fact, we are now going to take a quick break, and we will be back with all of the action. Just having a look at a rally car, were you?
Look at Josh's car, yeah. Give him a little wave.
All right, well, as I was just saying, we will be back in a second or two for the next of the action. So time to get a cup of tea, relax, about an hour's time. We'll see you there.